Back on the Frisco RoughRiders pregame show, we're joined by one of the RoughRiders newcomers today, right-handed pitcher Erik Hamren. Erik just joining the club from the Southern Maryland Blue Crabs, an independent baseball team in the Atlantic League. And Erik actually one of three players to recently join the RoughRiders from the independent ranks. Erik, looking at your season so far in 2014, 10 earned runs over 37 and one-third innings, but you were way out on the East Coast, so how did you and the Rangers organization cross paths?
Well, it was actually my roommate out in the Atlantic League. He knows Steve Mintz, the Myrtle Beach pitching coach, really well, and they were talking one day and just happened to throw my name out, and it turned out that you guys needed an arm, so he turned my information in, and that's how it kind of got started.
And then at what point in the process did you realize that you were going to be coming here to Frisco specifically?
A few days later when Mike Daly called me back and told me that they were buying my contract and I was coming to Frisco. So it all happened kind of quickly.
Sure did, and you were signed July 12th, so basically 1 week ago. You've had a lot of success in the Texas League before when you were in the Padres organization. That 2011 season in particular, 49 innings pitched I have. You were an all-star, ERA under a buck. What went through your head when you found out you were going back to the Texas League?
Well, I mean, this is a great place to come and pitch. I mean, especially, down in San Antonio with that ballpark. It's one of the best ballparks you can pitch in. And then, just knowing this league really well, so I knew what I was getting myself into here. And so it's not so much of a shock when you get to a place that you don't know, where everything is. So a little familiarity really helped out.
We're with Erik Hamren on the RoughRiders pregame show. Erik, the success that you had in the Texas League back in 2011 was really a springboard for you to the majors and your debut with the San Diego Padres. You mentioned Wolf Stadium is a great place to pitch. What other things really enabled you to have so much success in the Texas League?
I mean, that group of guys we were with that year, I think they won 100 games that year. It was just a special group of guys, so we all kind of fed off each other, and it was infectious, really. Like, we had me and Nick Vincent and Brad Brock who are still up in the big leagues. And, when you have a group of guys like that, it makes it kind of easy to kind of just do your part, and, because everything seems to work together.
Then, of course, you had the 14-game stint at the big league level with the Padres. What did you learn in that experience?
Oh, man, I mean, I learned a lot. One, that that you can play at that level. It's no real different from down here, except just a little more people watching and a little bigger lights. But learned a lot about myself, got some good lessons just, from the failures up there and from the success up there. So, I'm just trying to work my way to get back up there.
What would you say your coolest moment was when you were in the majors?
It's got to be the debut, pitching against the Dodgers. That's the team my dad grew up, watching on TV and listening to the radio. So just to make my debut against them and have Vince Scully call the game was pretty special.
Right-hand pitcher Erik Hamren joining us on the RoughRiders pregame show. On either side of your MLB stint, you had 2 runs in independent ball, one in 2010 and, of course, one this year. What was different about your 2 stints in the independent ranks?
Well, I mean, my first stint, I was a lot younger. I was just, that was my 3rd year pitching because I was a converted guy. So I had only spent 2 years in affiliated ball before that after I got drafted. So I was just a lot younger, still trying to figure myself out, still trying to, piece everything together. And then as that season went along, things kind of fell into place. And then out this year, I'd already had success and I've already been through that whole process before, so I knew what to expect. So it wasn't, so stressful on me. I just went out and had fun with it.
And then you make your RoughRiders debut against the Missions of all teams. Kind of ironic how the baseball gods operate at times, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, but it's not my first time having that happen to me, so I was ready for it.
Anybody still on the staff in San Antonio from your time there 3 years ago?
Yeah, Haggerty's still down there, and Josh Gear, and that might be it from the guys that I played with.
Did you have a chance to reconnect with some of the people that you were on the same side with in San Antonio when the team was just down there?
Yeah, I went out and played golf with Gear after the morning game, so I had some time to hang out with him, and it was good catching up with those guys.
In that 2011 season, what was it like to come here to Dr. Pepper Ballpark as a road team?
I mean, it was great to, get up here and come to a facility like this. It was, I think, one of the best facilities in the Texas League, and to be fortunate enough to play at a place like this at this level is just awesome.
Looking at your performance last night on the Hill, Erik, assess it. Inning pitched, 1 hit, a walk, a strikeout, a nice pickoff attempt that went 1-3-6, I believe. What did you like? What are you looking to improve upon?
Well, I mean, just left that one breaking ball up a little bit that Nash got a hold of and, was able to get the hit. But then after that, I think I worked pretty well. And then, once I got the 2 outs, kind of got a little too cute, tried to pick a little too much. And so I ended up walking the guy. And then, Pat did a great job back there, staying alert and bouncing, and was able to throw him out at second.
Now that you're back in affiliated ball, does that change your goals or your expectations for yourself as far as this season is concerned?
No, it never does, because you always look to just put up a good year and to, you take each year for what it is. And now that I'm back here, my goal is still to get back to the big leagues, and that's just what it was at the beginning of the year. So now I'm one step closer to accomplishing that.
As we wind down here with Erik Hamren on the RoughRiders pregame show, your concealed approach when you pitch, you'll really turn your back towards the batter before you come home with the throw. I was wondering, is that modeled after anybody in particular, or who really taught you that style of pitching?
It's not really modeled after anybody. It was just kind of what I've thrown together over the years. So, I mean, it's just kind of happened naturally.
Did you have a big league role model or anything like that growing up?
Not really. I mean, you have guys that you like, but I wouldn't really call them a role model by any means. Like Troy Percival was my favorite player growing up. And so if I had to pick one guy, I would probably say him.
All right, Erik, thanks so much for your time with us. It's been great having you in town. We're wishing you best of luck wherever your career takes you from here. And once again, thank you for your time.
Yeah, of course.
That's Erik Hamren on the RoughRiders pregame show. Back in a moment on the Riders Baseball Network.